Talk to us a little bit about what drove your decision to come here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, getting games for me is an important thing. I want to obviously be playing week in, week out, and hopefully get the opportunity here to do that. Obviously, some of the guys I played with at Switchbacks in 2021 are over here. We got Michi, Becky, Beverly as well. So yeah, quite a few guys here, and obviously I know the talent that they have, so that drove me here. And then a big part was Brendan, obviously. Like I said, played with him in 2021 with the Switchbacks and did well that season. So as soon as he heard I wasn't going to be re-signing with the Rapids, he was calling my phone and pitched me a good proposal here. And yeah, I got on the phone with the owners as well, and yeah, they were really excited about it. They got me excited about it. They said the fans here are great, and so I was just ecstatic to come here.
You mentioned that experience with Brendan in 2021. Obviously, that was a great season for you. What do you see kind of translating from that team, that approach, that philosophy to here?
Yeah, that team was super dynamic. You see, obviously, like I said, we have Michi, Becky, so similar guys. But yeah, super dynamic. You know, we can threaten in behind at any moment, but also just being here for 2-3 weeks now, you can see the quality in the players. You know, we have players that can play, high-level players that can pop the ball around and break teams down as well, not just be threatening in behind. So it'll be really good. Similar to 2021, that fast attacking style, getting behind, attack quick, but also the ability to keep the ball and break them down like that as well.
In a couple of years since then, you've been in MLS, you've been in MLS Next Pro. How has your game kind of developed? What do you see as the difference for you as a player between 2021 versus now?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah, like I said, some more experience, you know, like you said, MLS Next Pro, all that sort of stuff. Just putting everything away in the bag, you know, taking from these experiences and slowly growing, getting better day by day, year by year. I think as I'm older, I want to take on more of a leadership role and help the players around me. Obviously, being in MLS, I've seen some great players, play with a lot of great players against some great players. So just seeing that level, I think it's important for me to come down here and bring that level, and not only for myself, but help my teammates achieve that level as well. And I think we can be successful like that.
About a month ago before the season kicks off, what are you looking for? What are you hoping for over the remainder of the preseason to see before they kick that first ball in here?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fine-tuning. You know, preseason, it's made for mistakes, you know. So just clean up little mistakes, get to play with the starting group and get to know each other's tendencies, all that sort of stuff. And just clean up and become as much of a final product as we can become, you know. So we're ready as soon as the first whistle blows, day one, that we're ready to get after it.
Thank you, Marlon. Good to see you back in Hartford for another season. What do you see as development of this club, kind of closing out last season on a pretty strong note, the push to the playoffs, to launching into this season? What do you see as the continuity or the development?
Yeah, I mean, you can see our ideas from the end of last season to where we picked up, you know, on that from preseason. It's been good, and just integrating the new guys that we have. We got a lot of young guys that's coming in that's eager to learn. They're fit, able to get around the field, and nothing's changed since last year. You know, like I said, just integrating those same ideas into the group that we have this year, and hopefully we can pick up where we left off.
One of the things you talked about towards the last half of last season was wanting to have the midfield make more of a contribution in the attacking third,
Mm-hmm.
right? Get those goals. How do you see that kind of developing in this season for you and the other players in that group?
Yeah, I mean, that opened up the game for us a lot at the end of the season. You know, just trying to get into the box more because we have some of the best wingers, some of the best attacking players in the league. You know, they're able to beat their guys 1v1 and in open space. They're tough to defend, you know, for any back four. So the more that we can give them options in the box and giving them more space, and you know, defenders, when they see us making late runs into the box, they have to respect us too. So if they defend us, you know, it's more space for guys like Momo and JJ, who's playing the 10 for us now, that, you know, and they're clinical in the box. So just trying to build up on ideas and that, and also just fitness for us, you know, just trying to stay as connected to the front group of guys as much as we can. And yeah, it's coming off good so far, and we were able to score a few goals today.
You mentioned fitness a little bit there. I know fitness was kind of something that was a little bit of a struggle for the club as a whole last season because of injuries. What have you done differently in the offseason to kind of prepare and try and stay fit to kind of get off on the right foot?
I know me personally, I didn't really have a long off season. You know, I wanted to, you know, try to stay in the same rhythm that I finished the season with last year. You know, credit to our fitness coach and our trainers for, you know, giving me a program that I could continue to do in the off season that really helped me out a lot. And I think towards the middle end of the year, I felt really good. My body felt great. Able to play game after game, put in a lot of miles, and I feel good. And coming into this year, same. So it was a good test for us. A few days ago against Red Bull. I think the guys put in the work. The effort was there. The quality was there, and we looked to pick up where we left off going into the next preseason game.
Speaking of that next preseason game and the remainder of the preseason, what are you looking for as kind of the key markers to know that you're ready for the first game?
I mean, we had a bunch of chances that we created in the last game. Our press was good. Our shape behind the ball was good. We were able to keep a team that was in the finals last year, at zeros, and for me that was a really good sign for us. And I think going into this next game is now can we put together that same performance, that same effort, and reward ourselves with goals. And it goals to be had for us. Like I said, our front group is hard. They're hard to defend for any team that we play against. So the more that we can continue to create chances for those guys, I think this year will be a really good year for us.
All right, Jordan. Into the preseason now. How are you feeling about the team at this point?
Good. I feel like the few additions that we made have been impactful ones. I was really pleased with our starting group at Red Bull the other day. I thought they went toe-to-toe with what's a good MLS team right now. Both athletically but also tactically. I thought, we were aggressive in the moments we had to press, but we were also really compact in moments where they got on top of us. And that's good to see that just that continuity this early in preseason is a good thing to see.
Some of the guys you've added, Carriaga, Sebastian Anderson coming in this week. Talk a little bit about how you see those guys fitting in with the returning players.
Yeah, Carriaga's not on the ground yet, so we haven't had a chance to evaluate exactly how he'll fit. But Seb, obviously, you can see fits seamlessly and makes us much better on the ball. And he's an intelligent defender. He takes up the right positions. Body shape's always good. Takes space away early, so he doesn't have to run as much. He's going to be a big piece, a big part of what we're doing here. Really happy he chose to come here.
You had him on loan in Colorado Springs.
Yep.
In 2021, he was a teenager then. How do you see him having developed in the 3 or 4 years since then?
He's only 22, but he's in a lot of ways taking over a leadership role here already, communicating constantly. Not loud, not overbearing, but constant communication and adjustments on the fly that are valuable to a team. So I've been really impressed with how quickly he's matured and how mature he is at this age.
One of the things you mentioned in the offseason was looking for that kind of everyday number 10, 20 over 3,000 minutes. Do you feel like you were able to address that with the players, or the players were coming in? And who do you see kind of filling that role? Yeah,
I see multiple guys filling that role for us. One of the things that we wanted to do was make sure that we, maintained our shape that we played last year and approach it from the same standpoint stylistically, and we felt like we needed some ground coverage in there, and JJ, as you can see, gives us that in spades, but he can play any of those front four positions pretty seamlessly, so he gives us depth across the front four as well. I think Carriaga is a guy who's played in that position at a very high level in Argentina, so he's obviously a front runner for that position as well. And I think that competition is going to be really good for our front four. They're going to keep each other honest because we do plan to potentially add even one more player to that group.
Looking at that front group of players, obviously you brought back Marlon, what do you see kind of from that group of players? Mamadou going to the next level, Deshane hopefully being healthy, Mishi, hard to call 8 goals and 5 assists a down year, but by his standards it was.
Yeah.
But how do you see that group kind of taking another step this year?
I think they're walking in the door day one with a clear understanding of who we are, of what we want to accomplish, of the playing style, of the responsibilities within the playing style. So we're just weeks and weeks ahead of where we were last year when the group was learning each other. Bringing 10, 12 players back allows you that continuity when those 10 or 12 are really in your core. And I think those 3 guys are a good example of that.
Mamadou specifically, this guy, obviously the second half was 11 goals, the second half of the season last year. How do you see his game develop from there to now? What's the biggest improvement or the biggest development?
Yeah, he's just continuing to work on the little things and do the little things well. The timing of his runs, the angles of his runs, the intensity of his runs in the box started to come on in the second half of last year. So now his starting point, again, similar to what I said before, is so much more advanced than it was last year. Last year, it took him a few months to work his way into the group, and for us to recognize what we had in him. This year, there's none of that. It's just get to work every day. He's doing 10 or 15 minutes extra on his own with a keen focus on zone one, on goal scoring. That's where he's going to make his money and make us a better team, and that's where he's spending the majority of his time. I think he's always been a willing runner, so I don't worry as much about the defensive side of it with him. He's just, he's honest and athletic, and when you're those two things, you can defend. But the attacking side is way more intricate, and the timing and spacing, I think, are things that he's working on right now, and you can see it come through on a day like today.
You mentioned some of those knocks. Obviously, injuries are another thing that kind of cropped up last season. Pele really never got on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Deshane missed time. Michi had knocks, other guys too. What have you been kind of focusing on, getting younger as part of that, but to kind of try and reduce the general occurrence of those injuries?
So a few of them started in preseason last year, so we adjusted the way we're approaching preseason and building up. Today was probably the peak so far, but a lot more extensive training and less intensive training, less small spaces and cutting and turning, and we're building that in very slowly as we get toward the middle of preseason now this year. Last year we got after it right away because we had a much bigger roster at the start of the year and wanted to breed that competition to kind of change the mindset of the whole club. And I think we've done that now, so we have a good foundation and we can be far more careful with the way we train.
The last question is, you kind of get into the last 30 days before the start of the season. What are you looking for in the remaining preseason games to take away?
Well, the New England one will be a really good test, right? Because that's their soft open. They've had a good run of results in preseason. They've made some great additions from what I've seen on paper. So that game will tell me quite a bit about what we need to do in those last 3 weeks. So we're really just physically preparing for that game. And then we'll tactically, hopefully, get a little bit of a lesson from them, is my hope, honestly, so that we can address those things and plug the holes for that last 3 weeks of preseason that gives us plenty of time to do that.